One hit wonders. Yeah, so I actually don't know. I can't remember if John announced this. So last week, did Widget preach for us last week? Back in 2024, November of 2024. He concluded our series of lessons, the Love Over Lies series, where we looked at some of the lies or false narratives or truths that we are told and how they're overcome by, a truth of Jesus' love or truth of Jesus. So he concluded that. So moving into our summer season, as it's hard to always nail down when people are available to preach, to try to alleviate some of the pressure, we just give the preachers free rein to preach about whatever they want. And so we just call it one-hit wonders. The lessons might not relate, this week's might not relate to next week's or the week after, not directly, but that'll happen through our summer series until beginning of February, and then we'll start getting into more structured lessons or a series or connected lessons. So today's the first one-hit wonder. I leave on Thursday, and so I said, put me down, because I won't be here till February to help the preaching team, so I said, just put me down. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about or preach on until something happened. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, and I was having a conversation with my wife, and she said something that just made me think, I need to preach on this. Not to correct her or anything like that. No, it actually comes from my lesson isn't on fasting, but there's a principle that's aligned with fasting that connects with this. And she, for the last couple of years, she's done some lessons talking about Christian fasting, actually something that it's a discipline that we don't normally practice, but it was a regular custom. And there's something to gain and learn with the concept of fasting. And so we just had a conversation about something, and she relayed a principle that made me think, yes, we need to talk about that. And now is the time to talk about it, because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, right? We're getting to that season. What do you look forward to most about this season? Food? Is that what you said? Yeah. Bobby said that one. Food, for sure. I do too. Great food around this season. What else do you enjoy about this season? Getting overweight. Is that what you said? Yeah. Family. Music. Yeah, Christmas. December 1st, so the Christmas music starts at our house. And yeah, Candace is shaking her head as well. Time off work. Yeah, I've been looking forward to those Christmas holidays all year, right? What else do we look forward to? Warmer weather, yeah. Southern Hemisphere Christmas is summertime. So actually all week it's been feeling warm. So this rain came, which I know our lawns needed it, but summer, warm weather. A lot of people love that. I had this is not related to the lesson, but I laughed because when I was standing over here passing out communion, I felt the warm air going. And then when I stand over there to get the microphone, it's the cool air going. So we got like battle of the temperature here. I don't know why, but what else do we look forward to? Anything else about this season? I know kids are looking forward to the end of the school year. Parents maybe aren't looking forward to that as much, but the end of the school year. So then going to Christmas holidays. So Christmas presents, fun with family and friends, sleeping in for kids. Yeah, as he yawns over there. Santa Claus coming. The facade, the guy we hide behind to gift each other presents. Yeah, it came from Santa. Christmas carols. Yeah, some of the songs associated with this holiday as well. Pat. Yeah, I love it. So the reason for this season, we remember the birth of Christ, the death of Christ, that crucifixion that's so important to us, and then just the reminder, keep me near that cross. That's the core of who we are, why we live, and why we have hope. So thanks for sharing that, Pat. So this season, the excitement, the anticipation, and the stress. Yeah, we don't look forward to the stress, but I don't know about you. Actually, I might just help me out. Give me a show of hands. I confessed last week how I was stressed and I'm feeling stressed. We're about to go on this trip. I'm feeling it. Just show of hands. Who else feels the stress of this time of year? Yeah, thank you for raising your hands. And for those, I know a lot aren't raising their hands, but they at least, if they don't feel it this year, they remember the seasons before of stress. So a lot of this season, as we come to the end of our, we want to go on holiday, we want to finish those jobs, we don't want anything hanging over our shoulders, and so we work hard to get things done, so we can enjoy that break. All the logistics of inviting family from out of town, the friends get-togethers with friends, end of year Christmas parties, the barbecues, trying to coordinate multiple people's schedules and calendars to make it work. If you got kids that are coming in from out of town, or grandkids, and trying to find a way, and sometimes the stress of those plans that you hoped for never come to fruition, and just the frustration with that. Students at school, this is like big exam times, and there's a lot of pressure put on you to do well in these exams, to be studying because they mean so much. All this pressure, all this stress that comes at this time of year. And so and I'm feeling it, going on a trip coming up, I wanted to share a lesson talking about that stress because we all feel it for different reasons. Here's 5 signs, and there's more than this, but here's 5 signs that you are stressed out. I'm going to tick them off as I go through them. Becoming easily irritable. Check, I've got that. Experiencing anxiety. Check, I've got that. Sheldon's with me as well. Yeah. Feeling depressed. Yeah, check on that as well. Feeling uninterested in life. Just want to check out, give up. Can't be bothered anymore. Check, got that. Feeling overwhelmed. Check, got that. Definitely stressed out. I think we all feel those things in getting stressed out kind of thing. So this morning, I wanted to kind of think about that a little bit more and hopefully encourage you as well. How does stress express itself in your life? How does it express itself in your relationships, the way you talk to your wife or your husband or your kids or your parents or your boss or your colleagues or the people that you are in charge of, the neighbors over the fence? How does it affect the way you talk to people? There's a physical response to stress as well. Blood pressure can go up. We can lose our appetite. We might eat more, so gain some weight, just lose motivation to get out and do exercise, fall out of routine. There's a physical response to our stress as well. And the ironic and the sad thing about stress, as we get stressed about things, our ability to be functional or efficient with our time, to think through plans, to follow schedules, to be organized, that lowers. And so then that makes our stress go even higher. And it's just a cycle of stress building on stress kind of thing. And I don't think stress isn't always bad. We actually need some level of stress or some level of pressure. Actually, if you go to a doctor and you have some issues, so one of the things they might do is they might put you through a stress test. Why is that? Because actually putting your heart or putting yourself under stress, it might reveal some things that need some attention. There is actually purpose in stress. James chapter 1, you know this. Verses 2 through 4, you can turn to it if you want, or I can read it to you. It says, "Count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials," you can change that word, tests, "of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." There can be purpose in those seasons where we're stressed out, where we're struggling, where we're wrestling, when we're exhausted. There can be purpose in it. And maybe here's one of and there might be multiple things, but here's one purpose, and this is the principle that relates to the fasting lesson that kind of inspired this. So you might remember we went to Fiji, a group of us went to Fiji earlier this year, and we shared some photos. And there was a building in this village. It was in a tidal area, so really rough conditions, but these buildings are built on pylons. And the tides coming in and out, the weather, everything that's wearing away. And I just remember one of the buildings, the corner, the pylon is completely like eaten away and gone. So that corner is kind of floating. The things that are supporting that building have been eroded away, and what is left to support, to hold that building up? Where this lesson comes from, we live in a world that is offering us false support. We have been told that there's things in our life that we need to put in place that will hold us up. And some of the things that we're told will hold us up cannot. And in a time of stress and trials and difficulties, when those things are taken away or eroded away, it reveals to us, it reveals to God the areas that we need to develop, to grow in, to be transformed in, to rely on God in. We're told if you have more cash, that'll make your life easier. If you have more convenient access to things, that'll make your life better. If you have things that can make you a bit more comfortable, then your life will be better. But those things are all temporary things that don't actually build up a life on a foundation that will last. You remember Jesus' words at the end of his sermon about a story about a wise man and a foolish man and building this house, and one builds it on something that is temporary, transient, doesn't last. And his life, his house was destroyed when things became difficult. And a man who built his house on a solid rock, which is the wisdom, the teachings of Jesus. And when his life was hit, his house was hit by a storm, it stood the test. As we face this silly season, it's an opportunity for us to have revealed, are we building our life on the things that won't stand the test, or are we relying on God who holds us through thick and thin? I'm going to give you another confession, because I'm good at that. I do a lot of things that I need to confess about, so I'm going to give you a confession. This has revealed to me that I maybe need to grow in something in my relationship with my wife. I'm definitely stressed out, so it's definitely expressed in not patience, not wise with my words, and I might say the wrong words or use the wrong tone. I don't remember the specific thing this last week, but we had not an argument. We'll just say it's a disagreement. It wasn't a fight. We just didn't see eye to eye on something. This is not a major, I guess it could become a major thing. It's not a major thing, but something was presented, and I don't think I was doing anything wrong. But there was some disharmony between us. And I'm just like, if I would have done this, I would have been in the doghouse. And if I wouldn't have done this, I'd be on the couch. It's just the whole, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't win. There's no way for me to win in this disagreement. Yeah. I'm going to say, so yes, dear. So there's some stress there. There's an opportunity for me to reveal something there. I can fight to, find how I should be right in this situation. I can try to find a solution to make things even or fair between us. But actually I was just why am I even entertaining the thought that I need to win against my wife? No, I mean, there is humor in that. But our marriage isn't a competition against each other. We're not, our relationship isn't built on who can be ahead of the other. Why am I even thinking I can't win? Like, it's not about winning at all. So as an example of in the time of stress, entering into this, a disagreement, and I've developed this mindset that I have to win against her. Like, no. So in a follow-up conversation, it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I want to do better. I don't want to do this again. It's not about winning in that. James chapter 4 is very interesting. James is kind of scolding this group of Christians, the way they treat each other. You want to turn to it. We're not going to read the whole thing. You read through verse like 10 or 11, but the first part of it, he's just saying what causes quarrels and what causes fights among you. Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you, like your desire, you're wanting these things. You're wanting these things more than you're wanting peace with them. You're wanting these things more than they're wanting these things, and you're kind of fighting and trying to take it. These passions are at war within you. Not peace inside of you. There's stress, anxiety, this war within you. You desire and you do not have, so you murder. I don't know if he's talking about literal murder. Sometimes writers take it to the extremes. I think automatically the Jewish audience would be going back to the very beginning with Cain and Abel, and how Cain was upset with his brother because his brother was in God's good books, what he gave God was more acceptable. So he was angry, and the anger led him to murder. The passions within him. He thought he should have something that Abel had, So you desire and you do not have, so you murder. You covet and you cannot obtain. So you fight and quarrel. James chapter 4, if that's what you're looking for. You do not have because you do not ask. They're fighting against each other for these things, and actually they should be asking God, coming to God, relying on Him to supply the things that they need. You do not ask. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and you do not receive because you ask wrongly to spend it on your passions. You adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. That's some scary words right there, making yourself an enemy of God. But he talks about it. Your pursuit of the things in this world, the temporary things, actually the things that this world is telling you will lift up your life and make it better, are the very things that are pulling you further away from God as well. But stress, trials, temptations, struggles, seasons in life where you're wrestling, that's an opportunity for God to reveal these things so that you can grow in these things, so that He can transform you in these things. And it is in stress that our character is revealed. Our faith is brought into the light, and our reliance on God is refined. Our life without stress, our life, just our character, our inner self, our inner being that's being renewed, it won't mature, it won't develop, it won't be refined. Not through cash, comfort, convenience. It comes through the struggle, and it comes from God who props us up. My encouragement, a reminder for you, is this season that is associated with very good things, but is definitely associated with stressful things. I would love for all of us to embrace that stress, not look for it, not hope for more of it, but as it comes to our life, embrace it and see it for the test that it might be. Take a second and pause, realizing I'm stressed out, and evaluate, how then am I talking to my spouse? How am I talking to my children? How am I seeing the people I work with? Let it reveal, let it refine. Embrace that stress. But also know that stress isn't what God ultimately wants for you. He will utilize, He will purpose, He will allow these difficulties and these hard situations to come into our life. But ultimately, he also wants us to have peace. And that's what I want to end on as we're coming into this season. This is a time to have peace. Has anyone ever bought an item of value and it comes with a warranty? You know, this guarantee that if it breaks, it will be replaced. Does anyone want to shout out, does something come to mind that they bought something and it had a guarantee and you're able to take advantage of that guarantee and get it fixed or replaced? Can anyone think of something? Just shout out an example. Your cat door. What happened there? Blinky ran full speed and it didn't open? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this cat door that's fancy, it reads the microchip in their cat's neck so that when it comes to the door, it unlocks and lets Blinky in, but the neighborhood cats and little dogs can't come in. Wasn't working, had to go back and forth with the either retailer or the manufacturer, not which one, but it got sorted in the end. Does anyone else have another example of something that's under warranty? You, I'll make no comment on that. But our vacuum, Olivia and I brought a vacuum. Vacuums are important. They help keep your house clean. You know, sometimes you get a vacuum, it just doesn't have that suction power to actually clean the carpets as well as you'd like, and that can be frustrating. And so, anyway, we bought a vacuum, did some research. We are very happy with this vacuum. It's very, convenient, great suction power, cleans really well. But our vacuum cleaner, the head on it, and Legos don't go well together. So we sucked up a Lego, and inside this vacuum head is like a little plastic, it's like an impeller-shaped kind of thing. It's got plastic flanges, but when the Lego hit it, like cracks this plastic thing off. It still works, like it'll suck, but it imbalances that thing. So now it's like super loud and super annoying, and it's just like when you're vacuuming, it's just like, like you don't like it. But it was under warranty. Yeah, so we contacted, and they replaced it for free. Awesome. That warranty, that was awesome. Finally helped us out. I think it was like a 12-month warranty or something like that, So then 13 months later, we sucked up another Lego. And that warranty, that guarantee did not exist anymore. Did you know, thinking about peace, anxiety, worry, stress, God gives us a guarantee. And a guarantee from God is amazing. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. If you want to turn to it, I'll turn to it as well. We'll be considering verses 4 through 13, but in verse 7, God gives this guarantee, and I'm going to read it. It says, And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Notice it doesn't say it doesn't say it may guard your hearts. Notice it doesn't say it will guard your hearts for 12 months. No, it's a guarantee from God. He wants to give you peace that passes understanding, and it will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I want that peace. Now, it's not saying he will take all your problems away. It says he will give you his peace that will guard you, that you can rely on, that will help you face the struggles, the problems, the tests, the trials that you are going through. 5 parts, 5 ingredients, 5, I won't say steps, but 5 elements to this formula, this promise of peace. You can read this, and I encourage you to read the whole passage later. But in this Philippians 4, 6 through 13, Paul reveals to us, and he says, this is what you can do if you want that peace of God. Stop worrying about things. Pray about everything. Thank God in all things. Keep your mind on the good things and be content in all circumstances. If we can get those 5 elements, then we will guaranteed to have that peace that God promises us. I want to give you some advice to help you manage your stress. And you hear, just tell me, what is some of the advice that you've heard on how to manage stress? Yeah, stress ball, all right? Maybe get a stress ball if you need that. There's some sort of physical thing. Yeah, okay, what else have you been told about managing stress? Breathe. That's good advice, yeah. Ask for help. Yeah, sometimes we feel like we're stuck in something and we have to get ourselves out. But actually, there might be someone else that can help us get out. Ask someone, talk to someone. Michael? Talk to a professional. If you're getting to a point where you're just overwhelmed, you can't see the light at that end of the tunnel, definitely talk to a professional. Yeah. Get out, exercise, do something, get active for sure. Mike? Yeah, if you have in a relationship with your spouse or someone else, maybe stop fighting and just put up that white flag and say, this isn't about winning. Like, let's find a resolution. Yeah. Yeah, a verse, so something to prompt a focus on something positive, something good, and in this case, a promise of God. Yeah. I'm going to say that list of 5 things again, and I'm going to just mention some advice that I've seen. So that in Philippians 4, it says, worry about nothing, pray about everything, thank God in all things, keep your mind on the good things, and be content in all circumstances. So here's some advice maybe you've heard. Stop. Take a breath. Pause. Sabbath. Have a seat. Just take a stop. Maybe especially in a time where you know you're going to be extra busy, don't take on those extra jobs. Try to say no to taking on more things until you're in a space to healthily handle some of those things. Go for a walk, exercise, get out and get some sunlight, touch grass. Tell the gaming kids, touch grass, right? Eat healthy. Food can make a difference. Get good sleep. Sleep can make a difference as well. And don't isolate yourself. Ask for help. That's some good advice, worth listening. I want to add to that as well. In those times of stress, trial, struggle, spend time in prayer and meditation. Maybe if you anticipate the day is going to be super busy, begin it with your coffee and some prayer. Go out, morning sunshine to summer is beautiful. Sit outside, have a coffee, and spend time in praying about the day that is probably already starting to worry you and occupy your mental space. Spend time in prayer and meditation. Spend some time in worship. Put on Christmas music, especially the music that sings about the reason for the season. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. That's a beautiful song. Most theologically robust song, right, Ted? But in this season of stress, we as Christians recognize the coming of our King and the hope that has brought the world. We as followers of this King recognize how he has come into our life, and we can worship him and focus on the blessings he's given to us because of that. Another thing to do is remember God's faithfulness. Sometimes we're worrying about the things before us, and we forget about all the things that he's brought us through behind us. He has always been faithful to us. He always will be faithful to us. And maybe spending time meditating and reflecting on that will help you get through the things you're struggling with. And as a reminder, going through these difficulties, not a punishment. You're not a bad person. God is with you, and through them, He's refining you. He will bring you through those storms. Embrace the things that are being revealed about yourself. Don't lie to yourself and say, I'm a perfect husband, I'm a perfect father, I'm a perfect coworker. None of us are. We have things to grow in. So as our stress is expressed and we do the things or say the things that we then are like ashamed of or disappointed in, embrace it and ask God to help you grow in it. One of my favorite passages is Luke 18. Jesus is with his disciples, and he talks about a man who goes into the temple. I'm going to alter this a little bit. And he looks at this man, and this man looks across at this person, and he says, "Thank you, God, I am not like them. Thank you that I have a cushy job. Thank you that I handle all my relationships well. Thank you that I never yell at my children or yell at my wife. Thank you that people look up to me and care about what I say. Thank you that my schedules always work out, my plans always come to fruition. Thank you that I get everything in on time, well in advance. Thank you that everything is so good to me and for me. I'm glad I'm not like that person. But then the person who comes before God doesn't even look up his eyes. Says, God, have mercy on me, a sinner." And Jesus says about that man, he walks away justified. God opposes the proud, he says in James, and gives and lifts the humble. So as you are being faced with your flaws, your shortcomings, the things you know you need to grow in, embrace those. Share them with God, because when you can recognize that in yourself, He can lift you up. He can restore you. He can transform you. So embrace it. When you mess up, embrace it. Grow in it. Apologize for it if necessary. And the last one, just going back to James's advice, take joy in the trial. Know that you're not alone in it. God will see you through to the end, and you will somehow be better off for it. Persevere and see the blessing on the other side. I'm going to leave you with a benediction, and then am I supposed to pray and release us? Okay, and then David's going to come up and say a prayer. But may the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. As you navigate the busyness of this holiday season, may His stillness calm your soul, His presence bring you joy, and His love remind you of the true reason we celebrate. When your struggles arise, may you see them as opportunities for growth, trusting that God is refining and strengthening you through every challenge. Go in His grace, rest in His peace, and be filled with His unshakable hope, now and forevermore. Amen.